Hey guys, it's Kristen of Media Padawana Knits here with a new kind of tutorial for you. This is a little bit more informal. You can see I'm not demonstrating anything with my hands, but today we are going to talk about how to get free and discounted knitting patterns. So I want to start off by telling you what we're not going to do. Okay, so what we are not going to do. We do not ask pattern designers for free patterns. This is a really crappy thing to do. Knitting patterns take hours and hours to develop, tons of work, effort, energy, math, knitting. They are a labor of love. They are already not fairly priced, generally speaking. They also take an investment on the part of the designer, who has to pay for maybe sample knitting, tech editing, who has to pay Ravelry fees and PayPal fees and all of that. So unless you regularly go into your local small businesses and ask them for free stuff, you're not going to do that to pattern designers either. That said, there are plenty of ways you can get a good deal and maybe even some free knitting patterns without having to ask your favorite designers to work for free. So I'm here to give you some hints for that today. My number one tip is to subscribe to your favorite designers' newsletters if they have them. I know we all get so many newsletters these days. We get newsletters for things we swear we never signed up for, but it is definitely worth it. If you are a newsletter subscriber, you are going to be the first to find out about any sales that your favorite designers are offering. You're probably going to get the best prices on new patterns. Those usually go to newsletter subscribers. You're really going to stay in the know and make sure that when a sale is happening, when a discount is offered, you know about it. You're not going to miss out on it. So that is my first tip. Related to that is to buy knitting patterns when they are new. Designers usually, I won't say always, but usually offer a introductory price, a discount price for their patterns when they make their debut. And again, newsletter subscribers are usually going to get the best deals. So for example, when I was launching a new pattern, I would usually give a $1 discount, across the board for anybody, but my newsletter subscribers would get a $2 discount. But you're probably going to find the best prices on patterns when they are new. So that is my second suggestion, is that if you see a pattern that makes its debut and you think you're going to want to knit it, go ahead and buy it right away. My next suggestion is to make sure that you are following your favorite designers on at least one social media platform. You don't have to follow them on all of the social media platforms. Most designers are probably trying to increase their sort of market base by operating on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. So you don't have to follow them everywhere, but try to pick the one that you use the most and make sure you're following them there. This is where you're going to see kind of a lot of sporadic, it might be a flash sale or maybe a quick giveaway. That's probably going to be announced on social media, and it's going to happen really quickly. Personally, I see these most often on Instagram, but they really can be anywhere. Instagram is just sort of the most immediate platform. Somebody might maybe offer a discount on their YouTube channel and their podcast, but they know not everybody's going to be watching, every episode of their podcast as soon as it goes live or whatever. But on Instagram, sort of everybody's on there kind of scrolling around, easy to pop on and off throughout the day. You're really going to see a lot of those kind of quick giveaways and discounts and things on social media platforms. So it is definitely a good idea to be following your favorite designers on at least one of those platforms. Next, make sure that if your favorite designers are hosting events like knit-alongs and things in that vein, you're participating in those. A lot of times they will be offering free patterns to participants And a lot of times you don't even have to finish whatever it is you're working on. So for a lot of knit-alongs, in order to boost participation, you might see the designer saying, every week I'll do a free pattern giveaway among all the people who share a photo on Instagram and tag it XYZ for this knit-along. So you don't even have to finish your project. You just have to be participating to be in the running for those kinds of freebies. So definitely keep an eye on the knit-alongs and other along events like that your favorite designers are doing, because they often use their own patterns as prizes, and that's a good way to maybe snag a freebie. Next, if your favorite designer has a Patreon, is it Patreon? It could be Patreon. I really don't know. There's no pronunciation guide. Whatever the case may be, if they do have one of those, if you're not familiar with that, Patreon is a platform for independent creatives to earn a steady income from sponsors. So you can think of yourself as a patron of the arts, and go over there and look for creators who are offering usually special content for people who will make a recurring monthly pledge. And that, could be $1 a month, could be $10 a month. Each person's sponsorship tiers, as they're called, differ. But a lot of designers who do have Patreon pages will often offer a certain number of free patterns. If you pledge to support your favorite designer with $5 a month, then maybe you get a free pattern every month. That used to be what it was like on my Patreon when I hadn't semi-retired from knitting pattern design. So definitely check out those Patreons for your favorite designers, because again, they will often use their own patterns as some of the perks that come with the sponsorship. So even though a pattern maybe is regularly $8, if you pledge to make an ongoing contribution to your favorite designers, then ultimately the content that you get over there, the special perks and bonuses, will come with free patterns, and ultimately it ends up being cheaper for you. And the reason for that is actually because the reliability of having a steady monthly income regardless of how many patterns are being produced or how many podcast episodes are being produced or whatever it is, really helps give designers a more reliable income, that they're not worrying, from month to month, where is the money going to come from? I have to release a new pattern this month, or nobody's going to buy anything and I won't have any income for the month. When they can rely on a steady income from Patreon or something like that, then they can be a little bit more flexible with their pattern giveaways and their pattern pricing and things like that. So check out your favorite designer's Patreon if they have one. And my last suggestion is for you to consider test knitting. Test knitting, you are probably familiar with. It is when you are testing out a new unpublished pattern for a designer to make sure that it makes the thing that they think it makes, and also to get some additional samples kind of out there for potential customers, for potential customers to see other than the main sample. Designers, it can be quite a bit of work just to make the first sample, and we have not, generally speaking, had the time or money to make multiple samples of designs. So when we have test knitters, that's very helpful to show what a pattern might look like in different yarn, different colors, different sizes, and things like that. When you test knit, you will get the pattern that you are testing for free. And in my experience, most designers are also going to give you an additional pattern for free when you complete your test knit, so another pattern from their shop. So again, this is not paid work, but you're going to get probably 2 free patterns. You want to make sure whatever you're testing is something you really want. Don't volunteer to test something that you don't actually like, because you're going to end up with it. And that thing, that free pattern, is kind of part of your compensation. But make sure you're looking out for test knitting opportunities for your favorite designers. You get a chance to help them out a little bit by testing the pattern, and then you're going to get a free pattern or 2 for yourself as well. So those are my top suggestions for getting free and discounted patterns from your favorite designers without asking them for free stuff, without asking them to work for free, which again is really crappy. Please don't do that. So I hope that you found this helpful. I hope that the format of this more informal tutorial, where I sit in my really comfy swing chair, is not too distracting. I personally am pretty comfortable, but you're the viewer, so please let me know in the comment box below what you think of the new format and if you found any of the information in this tutorial useful. And I will see you in a couple of weeks. I'm going to have another tutorial on how to be a great test knitter.